We started off with the idea that the monster, there'd be no scales, no fangs, no claws. You know, it's going to be something completely different. Once we'd seen the head, the Giger head, that became the alien, we were in great shape on that. And Rambaldi actually built a separate head with 900 moving parts.
There are also tubes from an old Rolls-Royce, there are from vertebrae, from snakes, and it was a mixture from everything together, was built up together with plasticine that doesn't shrink much, and so it holds. You can put things together normally, it's not possible.
The creature design was one of those things that just kept on looming. In the end, that became, I think, one of my sort of major tasks, was to find people, or to help find people. And I found Roger Dickin, who designed the face hugger, chest burster, and all that, the smaller things. He wanted very much to design the creature, but and there were several sort of attempts at that, but until Gordon Carroll, one of the three producers, but the main producer on the movie, brought in Carlo Rambaldi, done Close Encounters. They brought him in to actually put Giger's designs into practice. And I think we had one or two attempts at tails and heads from various people at Shepperton. You know, we had this elaborate mechanical tail that never ever really quite worked. So there were several attempts before Rambaldi was brought on at quite a lot of, over the budget, unfortunately, to do it. But my God, it did work from then on.
Because the Giger is the author, #1 of the creation of Alien, I don't suggest anything about modify something, the detail of the vein, of the muscle, of the face. No, no, no. In this case, the creator is Giger.
When the alien, the actual alien creature, which had been designed by Giger and manufactured by Carlo Rambaldi and his team, arrived, Ridley had a few problems with it. The mechanism, the jaw mechanism, actually had visible springs and things which were sticking out, and the head was wider than Ridley wanted it.
His paint, I think, was too long, the face. Must reduce, and too many detail. We conserve a lot of detail, but I think 20% of detail of the movement no need. You modify little. The mechanism of the mouth no was very complicated. It's 3 movements. One cable for open the mouth, second cable the tongue coming out from the mouth, and another cable for open the small mouth of the tongue. This is general mechanical system for the tongue, this drawing. And the tongue, when open the mouth, the tongue slide. Because it's impossible to clear the actor, we use this mechanical system just for control this movement. But after this mechanism was reduced very, when the actor is inside, because this is exactly the position of the head of the actor.
Well, it's going to be a guy in a suit, and don't forget technology today, it'd be easy.
First we tried to invent something, so Ridley asked for some people from a circus, and they tried to walk in a specific way, or he wants to put 2 or 3 people together, bend them together and to put something over, and it was always a little ridiculous, the whole thing, and it wasn't scary. And so we decided, I think it's the scariest thing is to be very close to a human being.
In those days, I couldn't even get latex thin enough that wouldn't break, quickly. and would also take sculptural elements of sinew, and because you've got to lay the sinews into the rubber suit. So suddenly the rubber suit isn't like, it should have been as thin as a contraceptive and as strong as nylon, right? Because then I can crush this person into the suit and have all kinds of things built and stitched into it. I need someone extraordinarily thin, because whatever you did, there was a stuntman who was pretty thin, we put him in, he didn't look right. Funny enough, that week, one of the casting directors had been standing in a pub and had stared at this guy who looked like probably close to 7 feet, right? And very slender, very thin, kind of elegant, and his name was Balaji. So the guy had gone over to him in the pub and said, the old line, how would you like to be in movies? And the guy had a kind of North London accent, and he was a graphic designer. So he turned up with very bemused and curious, and he was then attached to the film for the next 10 months. And so he did all the stuff where he had to, like coming out the wall in the shuttle at the end, in the corridor coming around the corner when Sigoni's trying to get out with the cat, when he approaches Veronica Cartwright with his tail, and we get this sense of something really hideous because you hear her off camera.
They built the suit to him, which was just unbelievable. I mean, his hands were below his kneecaps when he would just stand normally. So they just literally put gloves on him with elongated hands, and they put that head on him, and they sent him to Tai Chi and to mime classes so that he could learn to slow down and manipulate, and roll up. And when he first gets me, he's in a down position, and he comes up and rolls out, and it was just so creepy.
I always felt keep it really tight and only see the bits you want to see, because this is always stronger than anything else. So if you think you've seen something, it's always going to be probably more horrific and horrifying.
I asked to Ridley, why are you shooting very little of Alien? And Ridley said, Carlo, the audience have terror when don't see nothing. When see the dark area, because expecting the monster possible here, and this is maximum the level of the suspense. Say, no, it's good. I shoot this little, Carlo, be quiet. Your movie, your monster, people saw, but very little.
Well, actually, we see quite a lot of the beast. You certainly get a good old look at the chestburster. You get a terrific look at the egg. You get a great look at the other elements and the evolutions, and I think you get plenty. You get a great look at the head, which is beautiful. Harry Dean Stanton, the thing's hanging there.
Now, that was a gymnast that they got him put in that suit, and he was curled up in the change. The amazing thing was, when they shot up, you couldn't even tell that he was up there. The way he uncoiled and came down and then put his arms out, and I mean, it looked like, that crucifix. Christ is ascending. I'm going to take your life now. I mean, it was like very bizarre and very sort of gothic, which goes a lot with what the whole Giger gothic thing is. Poor guy couldn't sit down, so they made a special swing for him. Tom Skerritt said, I mean, this guy can't walk around like this. This is ridiculous. Do something for this poor person. They hadn't even thought of how he was going to sit down, because you have that tail and that rubber suit. I mean, that poor thing was in that suit all day long.
I came to work one day right at the lunch break, so the big doors were open, and out of the sound stage came the crew and the alien monster, still in his suit, but with the head off, thin as a nail. And he's walking with the wardrobe lady, who's 5 feet. And they're talking politics, or whatever, very intense conversation as they're walking off to lunch. And he's got these tennis shoes on that are bright blue, Adidas. And the tail is being carried by another wardrobe guy who was a rather flamboyant guy who had this white ascot blowing in the wind. It was one of those, I wish I could have photographed that one.
We used to have a dresser. His name was Mother. We called her Mother. And he was in charge of doing the alien. Of course, there was always supposed to be a lot of slime and stuff on him.
KY jelly was very much in fashion at the time, and I think that was put on everything that moved in front of the camera, on the alien, was dripping from everywhere.
I have never seen bigger tubes of KY jelly. They were like gigantic sizes. And then you'd have Mother going, "I'll do it." And then he would come running out with his huge big tubes of KY and start caressing this poor alien's ass, rubbing it and making it glisten. And, oh, God, it was hysterical. We did have some good times.